Hey, what's up folks, this is Shaheel. So, the Canon 80D has been a very famous camera amongst content creators from the day it was released, and that's for a good reason. And I should say that this camera has been amazing, and I've been using this camera for half an year now, and I know this camera from top to bottom. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a review in which you are going to know if this camera is worth picking up in 2020 and if it fits your needs. And now let's start with the specifications. This camera comes with a 24.2 megapixel APS-C sensor. So that is a crop factor of 1.6 times. That is common amongst all the Canon cameras. Other than that, there's a Canon EF mount, and that is very versatile. So you can adapt this camera for almost any lenses available out there. There's an ISO value of 100 to 16,000, that's native, and you can also take it up to 25,600. That is massive, but also I would not recommend you going anywhere above 2000. But anyway, this has 45 autofocus points, and all the 45 are cross type autofocus points. So that benefits in this camera's iconic Canon dual pixel autofocus. Also, this camera has 7 frames per second continuous burst shooting. And also this camera can go up to 1080p in 60 fps. Also, this camera comes equipped with a 3-inch LCD swivel screen, so you can just rotate it around and then flip it, and you can do all sorts of things with that. So there are 5 major things that I love about this camera, in which I guess Canon just nailed this camera due to those 5 reasons. The number 1 reason being its build quality and design. Number 2 being that its ease of use, its video quality, autofocus, and then the massive battery capacity. Let's start with the design and build quality, as we usually do with every other product. This camera actually feels very solid in your hands, so if you want to do any kind of work with it, the grip is actually very deep and dense so that you get that heftiness when you're holding the camera. Also, the build quality is also very nice, and everything included, I should say that this camera feels very premium. Now to the ease of use part. Actually, this camera rocks in the menu system. If you are someone who actually shoots professional video with your smartphone, if you switch to something like a Canon camera, the menu system is amazing. You can actually find all the things that you need with ease. Actually, when comparing it to other menu system like Sony menu system, it's cumbersome. So the Canon menu system has always been good, and it does maintain that. So it's actually a very warm welcome to the new users into the Canon ecosystem. Also, you can customize this camera in C1 and C2, so those are 2 custom modes that you can pick, so that you can keep any kind of preset that you want in those custom modes. And also, this camera offers all sorts of customizability, so you can actually map everything from the trigger button all the way to the set button in the back of the camera, so it's extremely versatile. Now to the video quality part. Actually, you should experience that the video quality is amazing in this camera. Go look at my OnePlus Nord video, which I will just put it up there, and also in the description down below, just below the like button. Anyway, the OnePlus Nord video was completely shot with the 80D. I felt that the 80D performed very well. I didn't have to push the ISO, which was a good thing for me. And although the camera was a bit heavy, I actually felt that solid heftiness in the camera. There are actually tons of features that can improve your video quality, including all-layer coding for editing, so you actually record at 95 Mbps. If you don't understand that, it just means that you can color grade this camera footage up to an extent without breaking the image. So 95 is actually a fair number for a camera in this price range. And also the 1080p 60 fps also helps in making the video slow motion or stabilizing it so that the extra frames comes in handy. And it also has amazing autofocus. Now talking about the autofocus, it comes with the Canon dual pixel autofocus. It's actually known for the performance and reliability, and many people actually depend on the autofocus of Canon systems. And the cool part is that you can track not just face but any object if you just click on the object, and then you can move the object around in the frame and then it will still track. Let me show you an example. I'm coming near to the camera. I guess it's still tracking me, which is a pretty good sign. Although it does not happen to have eye autofocus, it still comes in pretty solid. Talking about solidness, it brings me to my last point, and I guess one of the most important points in this camera, the LP-E6N battery. Actually, I can shoot 2 to 3 video A rolls without a problem just using this one battery. So you can just imagine how amazing it's gonna be. While one A-roll is gonna be around 15 to 20 minutes, it's gonna be amazing. So nowadays I tend to do the A-roll for both my channels and the B-roll, which is common, and also the thumbnail. So I do all of that in just one battery, and then still I'd have around 50% battery left for something else. If you want to use this camera for a full day of extensive shooting, just bring 2 to 3 batteries with you and then you'd be good to go. So now let's focus on some of the negatives that Canon could or should have improved to warrant the $1,000 price tag. The first thing, no 4K video. So if you're someone who needs to buy the camera, almost everybody needs 4K video now. That has become like an industry standard. So if you don't have 4K video, you actually underestimate the camera to be not so great. And talking about not so great thing is that in 720p there's no 120 FPS option. So I think that Canon should have included a 120 FPS option. So I personally think that Canon could have improved their frame rate in a 720p option. So it's not there and it's the way it is. The next point being that it is not actually optimized for low light conditions. And by no means is this a low light optimized camera. I am fully aware of that. The point I'm trying to make is that if you are on a high ISO, like more than 2000, you can actually see a good amount of grain or noise in your image. So if you're someone who needs to shoot a lot of low light situation, just consider picking up some other camera which is actually optimized for low light. So now I think that you got a pretty good idea of should you buy the 80D in 2020. That's been it for this video. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give it a like. Also, feel free to use the comment section down below for any inquiries or any comments of yours. And lastly, subscribe to this channel if you did enjoy the content. And until we meet the next time, goodbye.